Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war, when silence is louder than the guns we bore. That's where we speak, that's where we heal, with stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the bags. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm, our round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, for the lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. HomeFront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Let me tell you, today was a really nasty. It rained pretty much all day. Luckily, I had some spare shirts with me in my work truck, and when one shirt was soaked through from the rain, I was able to dry off, put a new shirt on, and then so forth. So, it's one of those things. TikTok looks like it might be glitching again. Yay, TikTok. But tonight we have a special guest. His name is Jake Dyal. He's an Army veteran and the co-founder and CEO of Certus, a data transparency software company based in Tampa, Florida. We love Tampa. He has a background in big data, advanced analytics, and defense intelligence. His career includes military service. He served in the U.S. Army for 13 years and was involved with special operations units, government intelligence. Following his military career, he spent nearly a decade as a program manager in defense intelligence, leading research and development for government clients. In March of 2022, he co-founded Certus, which provides data solutions for clients, including those in the military and national security. And then he's also a writer on Medium, where he shares his thoughts on technology, military strategy, and startup life. So super cool. And once again, like I said, Gunny's not here. He's I'm actually jealous of Gunny at the present moment in time because he's on a cruise ship going wherever he's going with Warrior Honor Cruise. I'm super excited for him to get to go on Warrior Honor Cruise with the Warrior Honor Cruise guys, which they take care of Purple Heart veterans. And if you didn't know, you do now. Gunny is a Purple Heart veteran. So I'm thankful he gets to go hang out with other Purple Heart veterans and tell their stories because their stories are a little bit different um, when they're military with their military service with them being Purple Heart. And if you know Gunny, he doesn't talk about being a Purple Heart veteran. It's just something that he don't talk about very often um, anymore. Anyway, when he first got out of the hospital and stuff like that, uh, he did talk about it quite a bit because the media wanted him to, and it's one of those things that he kind of shies away from now, which I don't blame him. I would too. So yeah, so Gunny, hopefully you're having fun. Maybe you get to tune in and listen to tonight's episode. Maybe we don't know. We'll see. Uh, I haven't really heard much in the news when it comes to like anything going on military wise, which I don't really pay attention to the news very often. I think it's kind of been other things that are going on, which we don't even want to get into here on Homefront Sit Rep. Uncle Sam says hi, by the way. He's back there with his 06 Reveille hat on and got in his hashtag not service connected shirt as well. So Uncle Sam's back there. He's representing the not service connected community. Um, so yeah, I'm super excited about our guest tonight. We're going to get to know a little bit more about him, his military service, what they're doing now with the company that he co-founded, and then if he gives back to the veteran community, whether it's volunteering at a local nonprofit in the Tampa area or whatever he's doing down there. But we're going to find out because I'll be in Tampa in February. Actually, Gunny and I will both be in Tampa in February for SOF missions. We're going to go down there and hang out with Marine veteran Damon Friedman and SOF missions and go through their clinic and test it out and see what it's like. And then we'll be able to report back to you guys, all the ones that come here and watch and listen now. And if you're listening later or whatnot, we'll be able to report back and let you know if it's worth your time and effort to go there, which from what I hear, it is. I've had some buddies that went through the program. Rich LaMonica comes off the tip of my head with the Misfit Nation show, and he's like, man, it was a phenomenal program. So we're going to go down there and see how they can help Gunny and myself. I know with me, I need to do some more things with my VA rating, and maybe they can help me put it into the proper verbiage. That way, I can reapply and get that extra 40% that I need to get to 100%. But we'll figure that out later on. But that's enough of me bumping my gums. Let's bring our guest up, Mr. Jake Dyal. And I'm probably butchering that, Jake Dyal. My Kentucky's coming out. So let's bring up our guest and figure out more about him. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for
And
coming on and spending time. I,
I'm glad that you're going to be in Tampa in February. That's like the best time of year to come down to Tampa. Really, right now in October, right when the weather broke, and it's like the high is 80 degrees. You know, February is the same.
yeah. So we've been to Tampa. So we got friends that live in Tampa, or they actually live in Odessa, so a little bit north of Tampa, but still Tampa, the Tampa area. And we've been down there for New Year's. We've been down there a couple times for New Year's. Then we went to Key West a couple times for. So we really enjoy going to Tampa. And the weather, when it's cold here in Kentucky, it's usually a lot warmer in Florida than it is here in Kentucky. So I'm excited to be down in Tampa and hopefully maybe once we're down there, if we got some free time, we'll be able to link up with you and go to dinner or whatnot and get to know each other face to face and all of that good jazz. We can probably swing that depending on how busy SOF mission keeps us busy for those 5 days we're down there. But
Yeah, for sure, man.
thank you for taking time out of your thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know, unfortunately, you're got a family emergency. That's why you're not on video with us tonight. But do me a favor, introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm Jake Dyal, veteran. Uh, was able to fortunately start our software business with my co-founders, Tim Toohill and Joe Blankenship. And yeah, I'm the CEO here, and basically to sum up what our software does, it does AI on your data behind your firewall, you know, developing answers and responses to any of the data that you have. If you want to ask it a question, if you want to have it visualize anything for you, it can do that.
So this is AI driven though, correct?
Yeah, our
Because you're
software.
cutting in and out a little bit on us.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, our software is AI driven. We use a variety of different models, but the main interaction is just a chat, like interacting with ChatGPT.
Awesome, awesome. So so you're an Army veteran. You served 13 years Army, and you were involved with special operations. So we're going to talk about a little bit about your military service a little bit here. So what years did you serve in the Army?
1998 to 2012. So a little over 13, just barely.
So 1998 to 2012. So a little bit over 13 years. So when you first started in the military, what was your MOS? Were you 11
No,
Bravo? What
no,
was your
I
MOS when
was,
you first in the Army?
yeah, I was MI the whole time. I was at the time it was a 97 Bravo, and then they transferred us. I think by the time I got out, I was a 35 Lima, but it was same MOS the whole time. Uh, and yeah, it was interesting time because I joined in the late 90s when there was no GWAT. Everything was kind of in a drawdown. It was under the Clinton administration, so it was definitely a different time for the military. And then was obviously in during 9/11. Underwent the big changes that the military went through for the GWAT invasion of Iraq, so on and so forth, and then ended up getting out. Yeah, 2012. I PCSed a bunch of times, and then PCSed my way back to Tampa, and I just didn't want to leave again. So that's actually from where I'm from.
I got you. Got you. So I was in from 97 to '01 the first time. I got out on terminal leave August of 2001. Of course, everybody knows what happened in September. So I technically was still on my current contract, but I was in what they call the individual ready reserves, and I was working back home. Um, at a job that I had just recently got, and I was on my break, and I was watching the news. They had the news on in the break room, and all of a sudden, I saw the first plane hit, and I called my mom, and I said, "Be ready for it at Western Union." She goes, "What do you mean, be ready for Western Union?" I said, "That's how the military recalls you. If you're getting recalled, we're going to get a Western Union at your address stating that I need to go back to Camp Lejeune for combat refresher training." And sure enough, about 3 weeks later, the Western Union came. Mom signed for it. I was at work. She signed for it, and she calls me up. She goes, "Hey, your Western Union came." So well, once I got back home, uh, I looked at the Western Union, gave me a report back date, and says, "Hey, you need to report back to Camp Lejeune for combat refresher training on this date." So I did what anybody would do. I reported back, and I was in until 2004, which I'll gladly do now if my body would allow me. Of course, I got one total knee replacement, and I'm working second total knee replacement in the near future. So I don't know if the military would take me back, but if I could, I would go back in the military. That's for sure. So, all right, you got out in 2012 after serving after serving in the military for 13 years. We always talk about transition here on HomeFront Sitrep. That's something that we talk about with all veterans because it was a hard time for the majority of us. So how was your transition when you got, all right, you were serving your country and then you get out in 2012. How was that transition from military life back to civilian life?
Yeah, it was pretty different. I was really fortunate. I had set up a job here locally, had some mentors and had reached out quite a bit. So I was still on terminal leave when I was starting my job, and it was strange. I showed up at the office all, bright and early, ready to go, and it just seemed like I was a little bit different than anyone else. I was excited and I wanted to do things, and people were just there working a job. So I had a little bit of different mentality there, and was fortunate that there were other veterans in where I got a job, and you know helped me acclimate a little bit. But yeah, transition was definitely different. Like I said, very fortunate to have something lined up, uh, but and stay on top of making sure that it happened because I had family to feed and people to take care of. But yeah, it was definitely different.
Right. So, all right, for me, for example, when I got out of the military the first time, I had a job lined up, and I felt like I didn't fit in, like you. Like I got there, I was gung ho, ready to go. Of course, being in the Marine Corps, that's something that you learn early on in your military career, your Marine career, that you're Johnny on the spot, ready to go, right? And you go into a factory, and we got the people that are working there. It's just like, oh God, I'm here again. And here you got this new guy who is all gung ho, ready to go, ready to learn, and they just don't care, right? And then, of course, I got recalled back into the military, lost that job because I didn't know if I was coming back. So I just told them, hey,
Right.
I'm going back in the military, and I had planned on going into the Army anyway. My plan was to leave the Marine Corps, wait my 90 days, join the Army, change my MOS from infantry to telecommunications, and go to Germany for 5 years. That was my plan. After the 5 years, I didn't know where I was going to go, but that was my plan, right? 9/11 happened, got recalled back in, and got out the second time. And my first initial was like, all right, I need to go to the Army recruiter, get my paperwork started again, and waited my time. Now I had a job. It was just some local job. I forget. I can't even remember what it was at the present moment in time. But once again, I felt like I didn't fit. I didn't fit in, right? Um, so I talked to the Army recruiter, had everything set up, ready to go. Paperwork got pushed to MEPS. MEPS is like, oh well, we can't let him join the Army. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what do you mean I can't join the Army? I got two honorable discharges from the United States Marine Corps, and you're telling me I can't go in the Army? It ain't like I got to go to boot camp again. I've already done all that, with the Marines. And the doctor at MEPS denied me and said because I had asthmatic symptoms as a child, I couldn't join the Army. And I'm like, bro, you're the same doctor that let me go in the Marine Corps, and you're telling me I can't go, in the Army. and we
Yeah, that's
fought it
crazy.
all the way up to a full bird, fought it all the way up to a full bird, and still could not get them to change it where I could go into the army. Um, but now looking back, hindsight's 2020, because my wife that I'm married to now, she had always told me that she would never be a military spouse. We were dating at the time, and if I had joined the army, me and her wouldn't be married. We wouldn't
Yeah,
have beautiful daughters. One's a freshman in college, and the other one's a senior in high school. So
that's amazing.
hindsight's 2020. I think the good Lord upstairs knew what he was doing, had a plan. So that's the way I look at it now. Of course, back then I was all upset and was like, "Oh well, Army, screw the Army, blah blah." I went all Marine on them basically, and but it is what it is. I think that the good Lord has a plan for all, and kind of like in your situation here in 2022 in March when you co-founded um, Certus Core. So were you always in? Were you always very tech savvy? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so like when I was a kid, I was fortunate. Like we had a computer when I was really young. I messed around with, and I had been involved with a variety of computer science programs while I was in. And then when I got out, I ended up getting my computer science degree, and then I was working as a government civilian, doing a lot of data analytics and data science programs and program management for the government. So I really got into uh, doing things with data and solving problems with data, and that being my main focus. That was just really what I was about in the government for the longest time. And then I had a series of projects that we did with who ended up being my co-founders of the company. And we figured out a new way of doing things, and we first actually got money from the government while we were still in, and built up this whole office to uh, do things maybe a little bit different. But we tried to find software for what we were doing. We tried to use services contractors to put it together, and no one really could. So we ended up one of my co-founders was like, "Here, hold my beer," and then he wrote the first version of our software. Amazing engineer, Tim Toohill, and he uh, just kind of let it be, and put it all together. So then we showed it to everybody, and at the time it was innovative, it was different, and this was pre AI era. So then he and Joe and I, other two co-founders, we were thinking about leaving, and we just found an opportunity and applied for it, and got some money to start it was our first job working for SOCOM, and we're able to start the company. So it was really a great turn of events. And I was just happy to be founding a company with both of them, because even though, like you said, I've been tech savvy and I've been involved with data stuff for a long time. I'm not a super engineer, like Tim, or even engineer like my friend Joe.
I got you. So my daughter, who's at EKU right now, her primary, um, so she's getting a double major. Her primary major is criminal justice, and then her secondary is computer science, which is kind of basically what the realm that you guys are in here with Certos, with computer science and computer engineering. Um, I think I think you would be a person that she could probably reach out to if she had like questions in the future and be like, "Hey, uh, my dad, you were on my dad podcast, and I got a question for you," or something like that. Just because I know a lot of you guys in the tech world, you guys intermingle quite a bit, I mean, because it's a small niche when it comes to certain things that like you guys are doing defense contracts and stuff like that, and um, so that's a small kind of niche when it comes to what you guys are doing. Because I had Rico, I don't know if you know Rico Danielson, Army veteran. He
No, I don't.
owns, I forget the name of the company, but he's a national security advisor. You say you did know him or you don't know him?
I do not know. I'm sorry.
You were, oh, okay, okay. You were cutting in and out. I wasn't for sure if you did know. But anyway, so it's one of those things. It's a small niche. So I and I don't know if my daughter, I love her to death, but she's never done any computers from itty bitty to high school, and now she's doing it in college for the first time. Why she picked computer science, I'm not really for sure because she's not very tech savvy when it comes to certain. I mean, granted, she knows how to work an iPhone and stuff like that, but when it comes to uh, computer programming and stuff like that, one of her um, career paths in high school that she you know messed with in high school. So it's one of those things. It's like you have to be a little bit more tech savvy when it comes to doing that. So um, yeah,
Yeah, and
man.
a lot of people that I
Let's
know
see. All
that
right. So I'm looking
yeah,
here. This is
you still there? Sorry.
yeah, you were cutting in and out on me.
Yeah, I said, a lot of the people I know that got involved with computer science and engineering, they really just put their mind to it. Like uh, I know plenty of people got degrees that never really uh, ended up being the kind of engineer that was out there, developing code every day. And there's a lot of people that you know are really gifted in computer science, and ended up getting their degrees. So it's really a amount of like practice and effort you put into it. Even though, like I said, I got my computer science degree as well, I'm not half the engineers some of these other guys I work with are, and nor will I be. It's just a matter of effort. So if your daughter really gets into it, just learning the code and spending the time doing it, it's the best thing.
Yeah. So now, all right. I did programming back in what 97, 98. Back we were using what Visual Basics and C plus plus, which I know now you still use some Visual Basics, you still use some C plus plus, but it's definitely changed a lot since then. Um, Now I know I think the Visual Basics and C plus plus is still the core, like the basis of everything that has evolved into. Now here I'm reading here. Your primary software platform is called IBS, Information and Integration Systems, an AI-powered data intelligence tool designed to transform fragment fragmented data into actionable insights. It's built on a schematic knowledge graph (SKG) and targets clients in complex and data heavy environments such as the national security and defense sectors. Um, and then it goes down key features of the IB platform: natural language queries, schematic knowledge graph, AI governance of its tools, ontology editor, knowledge graph explorer, code lab. So, uh, can this can your software? All right, let's say I work for AT&T. That's who I work for right now. Now,
Cool.
I'm not in corporate AT&T, but I do. I have been in AT&T for over 13 years. Is
Yeah.
that something that your software could be used uh, inside of AT&T corporate AT&T?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's really simple to query. Here, hold on one second. Yeah, or my daughter's actually getting picked up right now. Yeah, so corporate
All right.
AT&T could definitely use our software. Absolutely. You, anybody who can ask a like a
All
normal
right.
question could use IBIS as long as they've got multiple data sets and their own data that they want to be querying.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, what plans do you have for what plans do you have for the future for the Ibis? And are you planning on coming up with or creating something different in the future?
So really, it's all about the end user experience, just being able to uh, have queries in like natural language, and then we're building off of that, like making sure that people can generate visualizations, get answers to their questions, because like really the whole reason you're doing any of this data work is because you got a question, right? And that question should be tied to some effect and some mission, some impact you're trying to have. So we help guide the creation of all of these artifacts and AI agents that help you get to those answers. Uh, and the end result should be something that just about anybody can use.
Hmm.
So if it's in AT&T and T and doing telecommunications work, or if it's
Okay.
in the
Okay.
military doing work, right now we're doing a lot of work with robotic systems. They're people using drones to collect information. It's getting very, very popular in a variety of military circles. So we're supporting those sensing missions that they're running and being able to serve up to a soldier or a Marine, airman, guardian, whatever, uh, the data so they can just ask it a question. And that's the main thing we want to be able to support, just asking questions and getting insights and making better decisions with data.
Awesome. 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 Well, Mr. J, so do you do anything? Do you volunteer at any nonprofits locally in the Tampa area that you can recommend? Or what do you and your family like to do in your free time? Are you still there? You still there, Jake? Did we lose Mr. Jake? I think we lost him. So Jake is an Army veteran and the co-founder and CEO of Certus Core. Yeah, I thought we lost him. Um, a data transparency software company based in Tampa, Florida. Um, so it seems pretty cool. I wish we had some video. I wish we had video that way, and that he was sitting stationary and not. Uh, maybe we'll have him back on when he can be stationary and figure out some more things with him and his family and what they do for the veteran community in the Tampa area, uh, which is kind of where we were getting ready to get into. Um, I think it's a pretty neat. So yeah. So we were, you know, it's pretty neat. Hopefully he'll come back. I'm waiting to see if I get an email or anything. Finished yet? We will see. Mr. Ty Cobb, are you still in here? I don't know. If you are or not. I know you were watching a little bit ago. Let's see. There we go.
Hey, you still there? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're back. I got you now.
And apologies.
So did you
Looks
hear
like
my
my
last
phone.
question,
No, I did
or
not.
did you not hear that?
No, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So the last question was, what do you and your family like to do in your free time? Do you like to volunteer for like at veteran service organizations in the Tampa area, or what do you like doing in your free time down there in Tampa?
I'm sorry. Say again.
I was saying, what do you and your family like doing in your free time there in Tampa? Do you like to volunteer at veteran service organizations, or do you do that, or how do y'all get back to the veteran community there in Tampa?
Yeah, it looks like I'm
I think
having
you keep
some audio
losing
issues.
service
Like
there.
you're coming in broken. Here, let me try to refresh.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him back on. So next week, guys, we have a couple great episodes on next weekend. October 12th, we got Colonel Joseph Tryon. Let's see. All right, he's back. Let me get my mouse over there, wherever it is. There we go. There we go. All right, you're back?
Hey, can you hear me okay now?
Yep, you're back. I got you now. All right. So the last question was, what do you and your family like to do in your free time in Tampa? Do you like to go volunteer at veteran service organizations in your area? Do you get
Sorry, you're
involved in the
muted for me.
veteran service orgs? Yeah, I'm loud and clear on this end. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me. I don't know. Driving, having some issues there, technical
Yeah, it
difficulties.
looks like there's something on your end that's muting your sound. For some reason, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me now? Yeah, he can't. He
Yeah, I
still
still
can't hear me.
cannot
I
hear
don't know
you.
why.
Let me try backing out and coming in again.
All right, so yeah, like I said, we have Colonel Joseph Tryon. He is with Jason's Box, which is a nonprofit that was formed and started by a Gold Star mother who lost her son in 2009, I believe. Um, they take critically wounded, uh, critically wounded service members on elk hunts, deer hunts, kayaking. They do all kinds of great things for our brothers and sisters that have almost paid the ultimate sacrifice. Um, so I got Colonel coming on, and all right, let's see. Can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me?
Hey man, can you hear me now?
Hello. I can hear you. Can you
For
hear
some
me?
reason, I can't hear you. I think it's maybe something with Riverside. Every time I come in, it mutes you.
Hmm. Let you should be good. I have it here. Yeah, mine is working. Everything on my end is good. Are you there now? Yeah, I could hear him when he was talking, but I can't hear him now. I don't know if we lost him or what. Are you there?
Yeah, I just did it.
All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Speaker button? Right here? I just disconnected.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You just can't hear me. Yeah, I can hear you. You just can't hear me.
Okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Touch it.
So yeah, like I was saying, Colonel Joseph Tryon, he's coming on Sunday, October the 12th, and then on Monday, October 13th, we have 3-star General Brian Kelly, U.S. Air Force retired. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Apologies, my phone got too hot and it shut
No,
off.
you're good. No, you're good. You're good, my friend. You're good. So the last question I had for you was, what do you and your family like to do in your free time? Do you guys like to volunteer at veteran service organizations in the Tampa area, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, so the only thing close to that has been well, obviously through work we're involved with hiring our heroes, so we try to get people transitioning or have recently transitioned from service to get on staff if we have any available open positions. But no, the only thing I do that's really where I get to encounter a lot of veterans in my normal day-to-day life is I teach jujitsu. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I try to get on the mats as often as I can, injuries dependent. And I encounter a lot of veterans there, because it's a very veteran friendly community, and there's a lot of similarities when you do jiu-jitsu and you're being in the military. A lot of people who were in the military tend to seek it out, and even people who are still in. So it works out really good, and I'm able to interact with veterans there and help out where I can.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, man, I think. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to touch on real quick?
But no, not really. I'm really thankful that you guys exist and that you're out there. Speaking to veterans, I've been fortunate enough to be on a couple other veteran podcasts without all the audio issues that I've caused. So apologies again. And
No worries.
just the community out there is super strong, and I'm really happy that you guys are doing what you're doing, trying to talk about transition, talk about day-to-day life stuff, for veterans, because it is different. And really want to be able to support you guys. I'm glad you're coming to Tampa in February. Hopefully I'll see you when you're here.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'll have to do is I'll email you directly without Kate in there. I'll give you my cell phone number and we'll get linked up that way. And then when I do get to Tampa, once we get some free time or figure out our schedule once we're there, I can be like, all right, hey, this is when we have some free time. Are you available? And then we'll go from there. And then you get to meet Gunny as well. And then I can give you one of our HomeFront Sitrep challenge coins that we have. here, I could bring down with me and give you one once we're down there in Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great, man.
So, but I definitely awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on, and I think what we'll do, since you had a lot of technical difficulties with driving and stuff in the family emergency, we'll get you rescheduled. That way, you can be behind the computer, and we could sit down and have a conversation, and not have to worry about all the technical difficulties. And then that way, we can give you and your company the real deal Holyfield kind of sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's fine. It happens. You had a family emergency. You had to go pick up the kiddo. I definitely understand. Trust me, I'm a dad of 2 girls myself, and if my wife had called me and said, "Hey, you need to go get our kid," the podcast would have to be put on hold so I could go get the kid. So I get it. Don't worry about that at all. I just want to make sure that we do due diligence when it comes to putting the information out about your company and what your company does, and then how, like you said, you're involved with hiring heroes and stuff like that, and then you get the. So I'd love to get that out there where there's no technical difficulties and stuff like that. I think that would be more beneficial for you and your company. So
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Definitely.
you're welcome. So what I'll do once we're done here, I'll email back and shoot you some dates that I have available in November, and we can get you back on, and we can talk more about your stuff like that.
Sounds great.
Awesome. All right, my friend. Well, you take care of the kiddo, get home safe, and we'll be talking soon, my friend.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks again for the time.
Hey, you're very welcome, sir. You have a great night. All right, guys. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna have him back on hopefully in November sometime, and hopefully we won't be having the technical difficulties um that we had tonight. So hopefully that'll be the plan for sometime here in November. Um so yeah, like I'm saying, next again on the 12th, we got Colonel Jason Trione, um, Trione, Trione, Colonel, um, with Jason's box. And then on Monday the 13th, we got um, 3-star General Brian Kelly, Air Force, United States Air Force retired, coming on. He'll be talking about his military service. Then he'll also talk about MOA, Military Officers of America Association, and also Total Force Plus. So super excited about that episode. And then on the 19th, we got Dr. Dice. On the 20th, we got the Marine Corps League meeting, so won't have an episode that night. And then I have 2 open dates, the 26th and 27th. And then the 29th, we have our Tip of the Spear of Veterans Roundtable. That rounds out October. And then we'll jump into November. And then at the end of December, we're going to take our 2-week break like I always do. And we'll have some recorded episodes. We're going to do some recaps. First quarter recap, second quarter recap, third quarter recap, fourth quarter. So we're 4 episodes that'll be pre-recorded because we'll be on our break. So, but anyway, I'm going to end the show just a little bit different tonight. You guys have a great night. Stay safe out there. And like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe. We got your safety. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.